Welcome back. I'm Shad. We got ourselves another video. Andrew Wilson's wife came on to the podcast and said some things about this lady on this show. For context, they asked for her to show up. Not Andrew and them. They said, bring her up. So they kind of asked for it. She got upset with what they were saying. It kind of went left. I ain't gonna lie to you, it went left. And I usually say things go left, but that's kind of my content. My content is people going left.
This is your left and that's your left. This is your left, that's your left.
If we can all just be honest. Now, what I'm gonna need y'all to do is hold y'all horses. I don't understand that saying. What does that mean? Oh, hold the horses. Horses freak out and then they run off.
You stupid.
That's crazy how I just understood the saying right when I didn't understand it a second ago. That's the power of the mind. But hold up. If you just hitting this video, I need you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. And in the comment section, give me a thumbs up or a heart just to let me know that it's real. But let's waste no more time. Let's roll the clip.
Oh, you know what that was? Oh, that doo-doo, baby.
Happily married
You haven't
with
freaked somebody of something, or?
What unfulfilled trauma do you think my wife sees in me?
I don't
What
know.
unfulfilled trauma do you think a happily married man with
don't look
many
happy.
children, including female children, can you point to what you think this trauma is? By the way, are you married?
No, I'm not married. I'm
Maybe
not
that's
ready to get
because of all
married.
of your unfulfilled trauma. You just can't get a husband, huh? So
No,
they
I'm
just
just not
can't see
ready for
past
a
the
husband.
unfulfilled trauma?
I'm not ready for a husband. I know that, and God knows that.
Wait, do you think me and
That
Andrew...
doesn't strike a chord
Hold
for
on,
me. I'm
hold
really
on,
not ready.
Hold on. Do you think that me and Andrew are misogynists?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Andrew's a misogynist?
I think he has an animosity towards women. Yeah, I think so.
Do you think I'm a misogynist?
A little bit.
How do you define misogyny?
Just somebody who has like a dislike or hatred towards. I don't know the exact
Hatred.
dictionary. I wouldn't say hatred, but it's definitely a dislike. And the
think that's
definition of hatred is a great dislike. And it's actually one
Sure.
of the sins of living in the flesh.
Wait,
What if it's possible that I don't dislike women, I just dislike stupid people, and it doesn't matter if they're men or women, and you just happen to be a stupid person, and that's why I dislike you, and also happen to be a woman at the same time. So you happen to be stupid and happen to be a woman, but I don't hate you because you're a woman, I dislike you because you're stupid. Well, could that be possible?
Well, why don't
I think that's very possible. Cause it's kind of like, that's me in my life. I really dislike people who brain don't connect. Like, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. I'll give you that. I will give you that. It was rude, but it was real.
you ever talk about men? You always talk about how much you hate women every day.
With men, nonstop.
all you do every day.
When do you debate with anybody ever
feel the need
about
to.
any worldview? You can't even denounce the LGBTQ in your own faith. How could you ever talk to me about anything? I debate it professionally for a living against men and women. You go on a TikTok after you got with a guy who had 1 million TikTok followers so you could piggyback on that to fame. I would not bullshit me here, sweetheart. It ain't gonna work well.
Wait, Andrew,
It
check your
wasn't
text.
piggybacking. We actually loved
check
each
your
other.
text, man.
But it's okay.
I'd be curious to see his
I
wife
forgive you.
come on and talk.
Yeah, she has.
Oh, she has.
Yeah, she has. Would you like to debate with her? I'll bring her down right now. She
Let's
can
do
take
it.
the
Oh,
seat.
yes, let's do
If
it.
you want to bring
Let's
her
do
down,
it.
I'd like to chat with her.
I'll go get her real quick.
Go
I'll
get
be
her.
right back.
Can we get her booster seat?
Look at that. I have a marriage.
Can we get... We need it. We need...
This better be good. I hear my husband is a woman-hating misogynist, and I'm here to show proof of life. He unchained me from the stove just long enough to be here. So
She's out of the dog cage.
how can I help you, ladies?
Who?
So have you watched your husband talk to women on the podcast?
Yeah, I listen to every single podcast he does. I've also been on the podcast, and I debate women all the time myself.
Okay.
In fact, I was listening to you earlier describe how you think that men should pay for dates with women who want to be equal, don't want to give them children, and also want to have their own careers. And that absolutely blew my mind.
You don't think that men should pay on the first date?
That's amazing how you just skip past all the other stuff she just said. All the other stuff she just said, you just skip right past it. That was actually a talent. That's a talent to just ignore all the rest of the stuff she said.
Well, I think they should pay on the first date for women who are going to be wives, not for women like you.
I wouldn't be a wife.
Not if you're going to refuse to give a man children, have to have your own career working outside the home.
It's not refusing to give a man
No,
children.
you're a roommate. Why would a man pay for you if you're just a roommate? Do you want to be equal or no?
Well, I have a conversation with my partner and we've discussed having children. I'm not taking away from them having children. We've decided together that having children is probably not the best idea.
If you're equal partners, why should he pay for your stuff?
Because a man at the beginning of the relationship should want to prove that they are invested in the relationship.
So what are you proving? Like, well,
I'm there.
If I was a man, I'd be like, hell to the no, to the no,
like,
no.
if it's not
hell to
equal,
the no.
what do you-
I'd be like,
he's
no,
there-
thank you, ma'am. You can pay for your own supersized McValue meal. And I will go find a woman who actually wants to be a wife if I'm going to pay for shit.
You said you're...
You didn't have to say that. You picked that meal on purpose. It was good. It was a good one, but you picked that meal on purpose. I see what you did right there.
Makes no sense.
You said your equal 50% is just being there. So does that mean he's doing 70% because he's paying and there too? You're both there.
No, but I think
So how is
it's
that not-
showing the investment. Women show investment with time because if you do want to have children, there's limited time. But I think that women, they value different things. Like they value when a man provides for them, especially on a first date, a first meeting.
And men value...
So you providing your glorious presence is what he's investing in.
If he values my presence, yes. I don't
But you value his presence.
really see
Well,
a
I mean,
huge
simps
issue.
are going to simp. There's a simp out there, for everyone. So
I don't think that's the right way to go
it's
about
simping. That's the worst simping ever. I'm going to let you live at my house for like practically free and split the chores and pay for all your shit. That's simping. That's like the
Or just like
definition
a guy
of
who
simping.
genuinely likes you. Do you pay any bills with your husband?
No, but I'm a stay-at-home mom. I raise the children. I cook all the meals. Andrew has never done a house chore ever in 17 years. I do all of that. I bring him his food. I bring him his drinks. I keep track of his schedule. Basically do anything he needs me to do to help him because that's my duty in the relationship. So yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about investment, I'm pretty invested. So he feels like, if I want this traditional wife role and I actually do all those things, then he feels like it's worth it to provide. But if I were to come in here and be like, well, I want my own career and you have to do your own laundry and we're going to split the chores 50-50 and I want to be equal, he'd be like, okay, bitch, then you can be equal and pay for all your shit. Like, why would he pay for my stuff? This makes no sense. You guys have to choose. Do you want to be strong, independent, equal women, or do you want chivalry and protection and provision? You want the best of both. You want all of the rights and all of the privileges, and you want none of the duties and none of the responsibilities. And that's bullshit. It's like you didn't have a mom to tell you that this isn't how the world works or something. Like, my daughters don't get that nonsense from me. I'm like, no, that's not how that works.
So if your daughters...
why are you so entitled? That's what I want to know.
If your daughters went on a first date, you want them to split the bill.
No.
What's that?
If your daughters went on a first date, would you want them to split the bill?
Only if they're going to be feminists, which they're not, because I didn't raise them to be that way.
Like she's ignoring. She's literally using this superpower she has to keep skipping past everything this lady is saying. She keeps saying, if you want to be equal, pay. Why can't you understand that? I think you got that top tied up too tight. I don't know what it is about you. Oh, I couldn't be on this podcast. I couldn't do it. You sit across from me, I get triggered and you be able to see in my face. I keep calling you names. Please do not repeat that again, ma'am.
Okay.
That's how my parents' relationship is. It's like my mom does the same stuff that you described, and I think it's perfect. Like, my mom might not be contributing to rent, my dad makes the money, but she's contributing something else. She's doing a job that's just as equal as his job, but she's not getting paid because she's doing the household duties that
Returning the favor.
she's doing the same thing, whether or not it's being paid. Like, my parents are fortunate enough where my parents are fortunate enough where my dad makes enough money where she doesn't have to work and she's able to provide those things. Therefore, it's the same thing as money, in my opinion, like spending time and working around the house.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
raised
it
us.
even goes beyond division of labor. It's more than
Right.
about division of labor. Like, I have tremendous amount of respect for Andrew. He is the head of the household. He's the person that has the major burden of most of the responsibility. We've had a home invasion. He was the person who had to go deal with that and risk his life. You know, he's worked 60, 70-hour weeks for years so that I could stay home and our kids didn't have to be raised by strangers in daycare. I mean, there's a massive amount of responsibility on this man, and he's extremely competent. He is a really loving, honorable man who has like very firm boundaries and stands by them and takes very good care of his family. So he gets the big piece of chicken, he gets the respect, he gets the love and the admiration, and because I'm loyal and I'm doing all those things, then he provides for me and protects me and the kids. And yeah, I mean, this is how it works. Now, if you don't want that and you want this egalitarian stuff where we're equal partners, he's my partner, then you gotta pay for your own shit. And you gotta do your own work, and you better, like, you know, take care of all your own stuff, and don't expect the man to go answer the bump in the night, because you're strong, you're equal, right? If you're equal, you can go take care of that. You can go deal with the man that breaks in the middle of the night. You can change the tire in the rain. If the basement floods and there's sewage backing up into it, I guess you can go deal with that, right? So you just have to choose. Don't do this bullshit where you're like, we're equal partners, except for when there's anything dirty, dangerous, difficult. That's all his job. I just sit here and grace him with my glorious presence. That's entitlement, that's narcissism, it's terrible behavior, it's ruining society. And then on top of it, you feel no obligation to produce future generations. You want him to just let his lineage die with, die with him. And you feel super entitled to that too. It's like,
I don't understand why you can't get the concept that I've talked to my partner. I'm not taking away his ability to have children. We've both agreed we don't want to have children. If he doesn't want to have children, I'm not taking that away from him.
To be fair, I did say he's a pathetic simp. So, I mean, that's right in line with being a pathetic simp. You just,
I think he would just respect women's choices.
Until I die. It's just, you guys are selfish materialists is what I'm getting. Life is about me and my comfort and what I want and my, I live for me every day. I wake up with no thought of the future or any duties or responsibilities I have to anyone other than myself, and that's great. So it's like, if you want to live that way, I guess, but I'm just looking at you and I'm listening to you and I'm wondering where this entitlement and this sense of confidence is coming from.
I'm
because
entitled because I don't want to have children and I like when men pay on first dates. That's entitlement.
Well, what are you useful for?
I would say that women have intrinsic value. What
are you specifically?
Well, I'm a woman, so I have intrinsic value. Sad that you don't see that.
Why? How?
Because I'm a person and everyone has everyone has.
You're not gonna tell anybody you don't have anything that you're important about. You just keep saying vague shit you won't. Oh, that's funny. You're literally gonna just stick with this thing. You keep saying this mumble jumble. You're not important. That's what you're saying. Nothing's about you is important. Oh boy, that's sad. That's sad because you can't even say you're attractive. Like, there's nothing you can say.
Value. It depends on who's looking at you.
Do men have intrinsic value?
Yeah, they do. But I said that it's different. It's a different type of value.
But feminism is about equality. So if it's different, then how is that equal?
No, they can be equal in the sense of they can both work. You can be a stay-at-home mom and not pursue a career. That's fine, but women should have the opportunity and the choice.
So do you think women should work too?
Women should be allowed to work.
No, I mean like in your relationship, if you're not raising kids, should you both in your marriage, let's say you get married, have a job, both of you?
Yeah, but I think that a woman's job could be a little less harsh, I guess. Like women shouldn't have to go work some 9 to 5 and do this climbing of a corporate ladder. But like for myself, I've found a job that allows me to stay home and is not super strenuous. And
y'all aren't equal. You just keep saying yeah, that man is what we like to call a dirty simp. That's a dirty simp that you with. Oh God, that don't even make no sense. Y'all not equal at all.
I think that a lot of women should be able to have the option to either stay at home or work.
What would you?
Since Rachel also came down, she wanted to address, I guess, your criticisms. You said, Andrew, he has animosity towards women and that he hates women.
Yes, and so does she. And
I want to address the gal with the pink hair real quick because I did hear her say that. It is not hatred to criticize women. It is in no way hateful to notice when women are acting like entitled narcissists and to call them out on that. Like I said, all the women at this table could tell me all night long about what they think they deserve and what their rights are and what they should have and what they ought be able to do. But none of you can tell me what duties, responsibilities, or obligations you have outside of yourself to society, to the people around you. You would say things like, I'm smart and I'm funny and I'm just a really great person and I'm a good friend and, you know, all these worthless platitudes. But there's no like sacrifice. You don't ever feel you need to sacrifice anything for anyone outside yourself. You're not willing to have sleepless nights so that you can raise babies and produce human beings that are gonna go out into the world and have a legacy and have an effect, right? You're not really willing to do much of anything unless it benefits you. And then if someone questions, if Andrew comes on here and says, let me poke around and see why you think these things. Let me see if there's any logic behind your beliefs. Let me see if you even understand why you believe the things you believe. You think that's hateful. You think that's misogynistic. You think he's mean. No, it's just that you're used to being treated like a child princess and being carried around on a cushy little pillow in life with absolutely no opposition, with nobody ever going, hey, wait, what are you doing? What are you providing in life? What are you doing for anyone else outside yourself? You haven't ever been challenged on anything because you're a pretty girl, right? I'm young and I'm cute. Why are you questioning me? Why are you so hateful? Where's all the trauma? No, I'm just a 44-year-old woman who's actually lived, raised 5 children, worked really hard in my life for everything I have. I take care of, other family members. I help at my church. I do things that aren't just for me. So when I see girls that behave this way and have this mentality, you're damn right I'm gonna come on here and say some shit, especially if I get dragged out of bed to defend, this little girl that's saying my husband must be traumatized and hates women. It's just garbage. You're full of shit. You have no idea what you're talking about.
So these are the people of the Orthodox Church? You guys seem lovely. I would love to go to the Orthodox Church.
I think you're upset because...
That was your only response? You're not going to respond? Okay.
Coming from someone who I know personally, I'm not a 10. I am very self-aware in that regard. I think that there might be animosity coming from you because you're maybe not as good looking.
Oh, I'm definitely not. What? I've been on the show, I've rated myself, but I grew up in an era where we didn't all think we were models. When you were growing up in the 80s and 90s, everyone didn't think they were a 10. Like all of us girls who were not going to have modeling careers or be the hot cheerleader, we all knew that and we were fine with it. And we didn't think we deserved 6 foot, 6-pack, 6-figure man. We were just like happy to meet a nice boy who liked us back. This was before Instagram and all this crazy narcissistic insanity. Huh?
She's retarded. When did she call those guys simps? She said, your guy is a simp. Your guy. Your guy. And stop playing with your hair. Jesus Christ. You need to be playing with some weights. That's what you need to do. You need to be playing with some salad and some weight. I'm not gonna do this.
You're calling those boys simps.
No, I'm calling your boy a simp. He's a simp. That's simp behavior. A nice boy who likes you isn't the same thing as some absolute goober who's going to pay for all your crap.
He's not paying for
expect
everything.
anything.
I'm just saying at the beginning of the relationship, on the first couple dates, a man should take the investment and pay for the first couple dates.
She's not paying for everything. She said that his family's paying for some.
Yeah.
And I think it's only fair that I pay a portion of rent.
For a girlfriend?
mortgage.
You're not even married. Like, why would his family pay for your stuff? You're not
They're
married
not.
to this
He
guy.
said that
They're
his
not.
brother or something about
They all
It's like a
own a
Nepo
home,
family.
and I help with
She pays the water
some
bill.
of the bills.
She pays some of the mortgage.
I pay some of the mortgage.
She pays the
That's not
water
even
bill.
my question is, it's not even fitting to the dynamic that you're expressing so much interest in. Like, you're expressing so much interest in not only the first dates, but that you also want to be supported by this person. And this
I don't
dynamic,
think that means not paying any bills or doing any sort of housework or like helping in the relationship. Like, I don't think that it's entitled. I just think that it's a better dynamic long term for a man who has the financial stability to be with them rather than a man who doesn't have any sort of future plan to provide for you.
Do you think the woman needs a future plan, though?
I think that women should, and this might be controversial too. Is she gone?
she's here.
She's still here?
still here.
Oh, okay. I think it might be controversial, but I think women, even if they're not working a traditional 9 to 5, should have some sort of money saved up separate from their husbands in case there's domestic violence or there's divorce or things like that. Like, you should have some of your own income.
I don't think you need a keepsake of, like, if there's domestic violence. I think, like, you need
your
to
own
be contributing. Yeah, like, you should feel safe in your relationship and, like, pick something. If you want a job, and that's equal. Or you could do the equal housework and have kids. Like, there's an equality thing that's different. Feminists believe that there's equality, but you're talking about things not being equal.
I think it is equal. Like, I'm helping.
It is not equal. You foolish human being. You can't keep saying you want things to be easier for you. Then you can't say that I don't want to pay for the dates. Do all these things. It's not equal. I don't think you know what equal means. I'm very sure. Yeah, you're so confused. And I can tell you're very confused because you keep playing with your hair. That dry stuff on your scalp, you keep playing with it. Stop it. Just listen.
I'm going to jump off here because Andrew's going to come back and I'm actually going to go to bed. But does anybody have any like final questions or bones to pick at all?
I think Star back there had like a thing she wanted to come back and say.
I'm just curious if anyone on the...
Sorry, what?
I really don't have anything to say.
I'm just curious if anyone else on the show has brought up like internalized misogyny to you.
Yeah, I get it every day of my life. So you don't know my background,
okay.
but I wrote a book about the history of feminism and how almost everything that the normal person thinks about it is actually wrong. The way that the feminist liberation movements unfolded is garbage that was rewritten history by women's studies departments. And I debate feminists all the time, so this is normal for me. Of course, I've heard absolute garbage bullshit like internalized misogyny. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. It's pure cope.
Okay.
I love women, but I do think that women have proper roles. And I think that the problem with you and most of the other girls that have a problem with me is that you don't understand that this modern world and all this beautiful technology around you that you're sitting in right now, if it weren't for men building that and maintaining that, you would have no illusion of being able to be a strong, independent woman and have all these choices and do what you want.
But why do men do all of that?
They do it because they're benevolent and they are good. Isn't that crazy? They're actually really nice and they care about us even though they don't have to.
But they're getting something out of you.
If men were as bad and misogynistic as you think, they would put us in cages and we'd be, baby farms. There would be baby farms.
I think you might be a little bit of a baby farm.
Because they could. No, they could.
You're a bit of a baby farm. Haven't you popped out 5 children?
What are you doing?
You're
I'm
a baby
mother.
farm.
Oh,
I think that's the ultimate form of sex work, actually.
What are you
What's that?
I think that you popping out 5 children is the ultimate form of work? Because without those children, would your
are you
husband
using
provide for
degrading
you?
language? Wait a minute. Why
Do you
are
think
you
your
using
parents
degrading
are a
language?
baby farm?
Popping out babies. Popping out babies?
Well,
So you're against
if you didn't
people having babies?
if you didn't provide children, would your husband marry you?
No.
Exactly.
Why should he?
Exactly. So you're a baby farm to him.
Marrying
No,
someone is
these
also
are
about
my
starting a
children.
family.
Yeah, a family.
These are my
A
children
baby
too.
farm,
You
essentially.
should be so lucky because you're gonna die alone.
Okay.
Early.
Thank you so
early
much.
on top of that. So
Thank you so
I mean,
much.
if you would you like me to go wake up my children and get them down here too, so you can tell them that they're like
No.
gross little.
I don't think it's
trophies,
appropriate.
That
I don't think it's really
popped
appropriate.
them out. That they're the result of baby farm. I mean, take your little snarky little insults and shove them up your ass because
Okay.
Do you think
it's
your
women like
parents
me.
did that?
It's women like me
My
who are
chil-
doing
my parents only
what
had
women
one
are supposed
child.
to do.
My parents
You
only
are
had one.
useless. You are a useless heifer who has never done anything except
You're
gratify your
a
own
great
desire.
woman.
Be nice.
You're a very godly woman, aren't
Both of you be nice.
You started it. Hey, you can dish it out, but you can't
I
take
started it. Didn't you come on here
called
talking about
me a
McFlurries
baby
or something?
farm. You called me a baby farm, and now you're going to pretend to be offended. Get the.
I said you're the ultimate sex worker, actually.
Okay.
You said both.
Yeah, me being devoted to one man for 17 years and giving him
You're the
children is
ultimate.
sex work.
You're the
Okay.
ultimate sex
Parents
worker.
are also part of a baby farm because you were born.
My mom had one child and she
What does that
also
have to
worked.
do?
She, but I know that my parents would have gotten married without having to have children.
If I milk a cow, the cow's still providing milk, though, even if
On
I
the
only milk
farm.
him once. So you're
Now
calling
look,
yourself.
we don't believe that marriage is only for the purpose of children. Had we gotten married and for some reason biologically I had a medical issue and could not give Andrew children, he would not have divorced me and he would not have left me. That's not what we believe in. We believe that marriage is also a sacrament of our church. You don't get divorced for a reason like that. However, why would a man marry a woman who's giving him nothing like you are? You don't bring
So you just
anything
don't value
to the man except
you don't
what?
value women for just being us. Like you just don't.
I
see-
value people, but that's different than what a man would want to get married for. Why do you not understand these basic distinctions?
A man could want to
Same-
get married without wanting to have children, but that's not what your husband did with you, honey.
Why haven't you told anybody what you can do with yourself? You haven't even said you're the best burger flipper at McDonald's. You haven't told us anything. If you knew how to make the best cotton candy, you would have something. You have told us nothing, madam. Sweet Jesus.
No man does that except for a simp. Or some
No.
guy who's just
Men-
a
some men just don't wanna
materialist
have
who doesn't want a
children.
family.
Sweetie. Sorry.
Sweetie, honey. Yeah, I love these feminists are always sweetie, honey. They get so sassy, but this is going to be
You're
Clip's
very
gold.
sassy.
Why you playing with your
Yeah. Well, listen, I was dragged out of bed because you're sitting here insulting my husband and saying, oh, your wife must be some victim or there must be trauma. Maybe your wife is bad to you. You're saying all kinds of personal garbage. And then when I come on here and tell you what's what, you're like, how dare she? She's so mean. She's not a good Christian. It's like, well, then don't say this stupid shit, lady. Don't come on here and talk a bunch of smack. And then when I come down here and set you straight, you're like, oh, I'm shocked and offended.
You definitely didn't set anyone straight.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to set somebody straight that's a circle. Circles aren't straight at all. They're actually the most crooked thing ever.
Well, the chat disagrees with you. And it's
Okay.
straight, not straight.
Big screen. Boy, she destroyed Bigums. That was horrible. Bigums, what's wrong with you? You got like a mental problem. Did you think what you were saying was correct? You just kept saying it. Hey, yo, man, if a man don't take care of me, he's supposed to take care of me. That's all she kept doing. Rachel, she would say that your guy's a simp. He's a simp because he loves me. No, you bring nothing. And right now at this table, you told us nothing about yourself. There was nothing you told us you brought. I don't think there was one thing you ever said you brought. The only thing you ever said you did was pay a water bill. I think they was joking, but you paid a little bit of something. And then you said you worked at a less strenuous job. what are you doing then? She literally has the job of a child in the house. You know, like as children, your parents would say your duty is to sweep the floor. That's it. Or your duty is to just wash the dishes. That's it. You had a chore. That's what you had. You had a chore. That was funny. And then it was funny when she called you a heifer. Cause that's my word. Yeah, I can't stand these heifers. Bet you learned your lesson though. I know she learned the lesson. If she didn't, probably because those calories they're in here now. You should do a fast. It clears you out, makes you think better. I'm not lying. I made that's real. I think it is. It might not work for you though.
Oh, you ain't know what that was? Oh, that doo-doo, man.